All right. Woo! We are live. And I hope everyone has had a great week. This is Thursday and it is September. Slow as hell, but it is September. You know, so again, welcome to Mornings with Movers. This is Dwyght with Mack's Moving Training. We got Clifford Starks, the motivational coach, and we got Phil Diamond, all about moving Tampa Bay. And you guys have been crushing it. I've been watching you guys on the book. So what's new? Oh, don't.
Well, since Phil's under the weather, I'll go first.
Yeah.
What's new on my side? Things are coming together. I'm learning some amazing skill sets as I'm going through this process, and I'll be speaking quite a bit. I'm looking to speak at least once a month. I'm going to be speaking in Utah. I'll be speaking in Hawaii, and just looking to do like a workshop environment and helping people get the dreams that they're looking to get. You know, we don't do things just to do them. We do them to get something. And I want to help people get things faster than they would by themselves.
Gotcha. Okay. So what's your ideal client?
My ideal client, I'm looking for people who are entrepreneurial. And to be entrepreneurial, it's people who they have a business and they want to grow that business. And the reason I say grow is you got to grow with intentionality. You know, like if you just do it by yourself, good effing luck. And I really, really mean that. I've had several coaches and several mentors as I've gone through the journey, and they're just the hardest part. And I'm sure you guys can attest to this. It's execution. Even when we know what we're supposed to do, we need someone by our side making sure we're doing it, because doing the right thing is sometimes more uncomfortable than doing the wrong thing. You know, it's sometimes doing the wrong thing's easier than doing the right thing. And as a UFC fighter, as a business coach, going through my process, I make sure people don't let this brain of theirs get in their way from what they want to be and what they want to become. And I also help them put systems in place. And I know systems can sound kind of boring, but it's about making it fun. It's about making it fun, and it's about knowing why they're doing what they're doing. And also, are they using the right tools? And are they upgrading the tools that they need? And are they constantly sharing to the marketplace what makes them special, what makes them unique on their journey? But I just keep it really simple like that. Entrepreneurs, they want to grow, and they're ready to take it seriously. They're ready to invest in themselves and invest in their journey. And they want to win, and I want to win, and we get to win together.
Gotcha. No, the word systems do sound boring. I ain't go. Like,
yeah, they do.
It's like, yeah, systems, what? Can I make some money? Like, but it's like, hey, let's get that hard work in now so that we can play later, because you get the systems in place. And even though it sounds like a intangible word or whatever the case is, you can't really touch it or feel it. But it's like, hey, once you get that in place, you can now just let the money roll in, and you're just thinking like, yo, why does money roll in so good like this? Why is it going directly from the customer into my bank account? And it's as simple as that, being the system, but it's just like, oh shit, like I ain't gotta go there, get the cash from the customer, run all the way over here to the bank and put it in the bank, and then get a receipt from the bank teller. No, this shit is systematic. It's flowing. Like, okay, I got something here. And it starts just that small.
Yeah, 100%. I'm trying to figure out like the words to make it, because you want them to see that cash flow rolling in, right? Like that's ultimately where they want to go. But I don't want to be that marketer who tells you all the good things and kind of hides all the bad things. Like, oh, don't look over there. Don't look over there. It's going to be nice. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be roses. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. Like, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way. So I like showing them the bad and then being, but there's all of these good things when you do those things.
Definitely. So, what about yourself, Phil?
Um, I'm just kind of tuning in today, man. To be honest with you, my throat is hurting bad.
Gotcha.
I'll kind of chime in here or there, okay?
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, no, so yeah, just being on a coaching journey, this has been new for me as well. As you know, Cliff. So I think like just being able to let people know the ugly as well as the good is almost like I don't want to say the fun part of our job, but it's like, hey, I can be that person now. Where it's like, hey, I hate. I guess one of the biggest things I dislike is when you're in certain groups and it's just straight positivity.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, you guys are so amazing. Oh, you guys could be, you guys are so great. You guys are this and this and this and this. And I'm just like, it's not a perfect world, and I don't want to be that Demi Downer. Oh, yes, we need a lot of motivation sometimes, but it's the hard fact of life. Like, you messing up. Yeah, clearly you're not marketing where you need to be marketing, and that's why you don't have any jobs on the board.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I look at like motivation, it stands for motive, a reason to do something. And reasons shouldn't always be positive and shiny. They're not. Like, there's times you got to do things and you either don't want to do them or it sucks to do them, or it's a time you're in a bad place. Like, life sucks sometimes. I'll give an example. Phil's here today. Respect to you, Phil. I got a headache too. It's just one of those days where it's like, all right, it's going to be one of those days, but what are you going to do with the day? Are you just going to lay in bed and just be like, this sucks. I don't feel good. I'm going to watch Netflix. You can do that. That's an option, but you're going to get a certain result. And if you really want something, and I'm not trying to beat up on anyone right now. I'm very passionate about this stuff. If you want something, get this mother effer brain out of your way then. If you really want it. And it's scary to want things. I get it. Like, I have clients sometimes, and I respect them for even saying this, but they're like, I'm afraid to tell you my dream. Because when I tell you my dream, you're not going to let off. And I won't. When you tell me what you want, by the way, Phil's writing a book. When you tell me what you want, I'm going to push you. Yeah, I'm going to push you. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, okay, you want this thing. Good luck. Like, no, you said you wanted it.
Yeah.
And I can't say it because I'm just a guy. So no matter what I say, it doesn't matter. But when I just pull out what I know is in them already. It's in them. We want to do great things. And to do great things, we got to sometimes embrace the suck. Like, you just embrace the suck. I want to fight in the UFC. Well, I don't want to run hills. I don't want to do that crap. I don't want to. No, but I have to do that if I want to become the thing that I want to become.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the stigma is that, as entrepreneurs, it's believed that you have to work extremely hard. You have to put in the 60 to 80 hours, to 100 hours a week, whatever the case is, to get what you want. But it also is that misconception that, hey, you don't have to kill yourself.
Yeah.
You just have to have the right systems in place so that basically that 80 hours that you was putting in the beginning, that 60 hours you were putting in becomes 40, becomes 30, becomes 20 hours. And it sounds almost hard to believe. You're like, well, I've got to put 20 hours into my business this week. It's kind of, it just depends, because how much stuff are we really working on that's maybe not pushing the needle?
Oh, yeah. And that's like, great point. A lot of entrepreneurs, they burn themselves out because they're doing 80% input and they're getting 20% output. That would frustrate anybody. Like, that would be hard for anyone. And it's a game of, you got to take action, but it's also leveraged action. Like, I want people to win. And so if you figure out where that 20% is, that gives you that 80% output, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. I can do this. Like, this is kind of cool. And it's figuring those pieces out. And you can't figure them out in your own head. Like, even when I talk about execution, it's not, you got to just put in the reps and you got to make it happen. You got to keep grinding and you got to like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, where are we supposed to execute instead of like, oh, well, I got to file this paperwork. I got to check my emails. I got to do this over here. Like, is that really giving you the thing that you need? And I'm calling myself out too, because I need the same stuff. I'm the same way. Like, I'll find reasons not to do the things that I'm supposed to do because my brain wants to be lackadaisical and say, oh, well, we know how to do this, so let's do this. Like, no, we got to do this over here because it's going to be worth it when we do it.
Definitely so. Okay. So as a heads up, everyone, so I am well, Max Moving Training. You know, I hate using the word I because, you know, it's a team sport. But Max Moving Training is actually offering a 7-day free trial on the moving training program. So for any of you that just want to try it out, have your new guys, have your existing guys, if you know you realize that your existing guys are just having bad habits and you know you just want to get them all systematized on the same process, same approach. Hey, you have 7 days to experience the program, put them through the program, reach out to my team and let us know who needs to be added to the system so that we can get them up and running. Yeah, pretty much experience it, play around with it, get whatever training information you need for the first 7 days. And then obviously, you know, there's a monthly cost afterwards, which in my opinion, the monthly cost is amazing now. It's $99 a month after the 7-day trial. What are you doing? Not if you can't afford $100 a month. I'm not saying I don't know your pockets now, but you know, you be in business, you know. And, you know, obviously the best investment we can do is into our employees. So, because, hey, we can't do it all. We wear 7 hats already in the company. Why add an 8th as a mover? You know, we don't want to be out there. I would at least think that, you know, depending on where you're starting, the goal is to be growing in your company. So if you're still on the ground level, you know, portraying to be a mover, and you're doing sales and you're doing HR and whatever other compliance stuff in your company, you're doing too much. You know, that's the whole purpose of us hiring the people that we're hiring. I know that Phil, I think you've been doing been working on that path of getting yourself out of the day-to-day. How's that been working?
Not well. Too much. We like to control too much.
Yeah.
It's what I came to realize, man. You know, eventually the day will come, but for us, it's more of a trust, and it took forever for me to get myself out of, you know, moving, because there used to be no furniture moving unless I was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't matter. Certain jobs, certain things just didn't move without me being there. You know, I eventually got out of that a few years ago. It just, I don't know. It's been a challenge trying to trust someone to keep your business running the way that you've been had it running. You know, we brought in a warehouse guy, and that's been a little bit of a challenge, you know, of having, you know, someone else, you know, in the building with us, you know. So I guess it's just an adjustment for each person, you know, how, you know, however their business model is. And but yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, it's not a race. It's not a race. It's more of a marathon where it's like, hey guys, you're gonna get to that finish line, but you have to have a game plan. You have to have an ultimate plan. When you first start your businesses, your goal is, oh, I want to make money. In most cases, so now it's like, okay, we got that goal out. We should have got that goal out of the way. We made our first dollar. We made our second dollar. Maybe even our fifth. But with that being said, now it's like, okay, what's the next plan? Where do I want to be in 3 years? And it's like, it's hard to see, and some people, it's hard to see beyond their hand that's in front of their face. But you have to think 3 years. Because if you think 3 years, you're seeing a bigger picture. So all of the little milestones or little humps that you're going to have to hurdle over, it becomes so much more littler than if you were just thinking 5 feet in front of your face. So, it's, hey, let's focus on the 3-year plan. Okay, well, in 3 years, I want to have four sales reps. I want to have 7 trucks. I want to be, not really working in the business so much. I want to have like an operations manager. Okay, perfect. Put it on paper, because our thoughts are going to change. Put it on paper. So now when you put that on paper, now you can kind of start focusing on, okay, hey, how do I get to 4 reps? How do I get to 1? Okay, let's start making that a goal. Okay, well, 1 rep. Well, how many leads do I need to feed this rep so that it justifies them being here? Okay, well, I need 400 leads per month to justify this rep, really making their salary. Okay, what marketing sources am I focused on? Okay, now I got 400. I got 450 now. So I said 400 for 1. So now I got a little room for another one. So now 450, hey, I'm getting that other rep in here. So how many leads I need for 3 reps? Oh, I need almost 825 leads. So I can start working on that 3rd rep. There you go. You're building up milestones. You might have to diversify at that point, because I tell you, ain't that many damn moving leads unless they bad. But you might have to start diversifying at that point where you're like, oh, okay, you know what? We got 2 leads, 2 reps that's working on local leads. Now I got some reps working on long distance leads or junk removal or cleaning services. However you diversify your company, now you have these people here, and now you start to grow and you start to see a system come in place. What's your take, Cliff?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. When you're you talk about wearing the hats and figuring out who should wear what and why should they wear it. And then the other piece, they know why we're doing what we're doing. Louis Massaro talks about this, know your why. And I say there's our mindset, our heart set, and our skill set. And when our mindset's in place, we think differently, we think critically, we figure out how to find solutions. When our heart's in it, when we love what we do, it becomes a lot easier to do. Now, most people don't love what they suck in, and that's where we kind of get in trouble as business owners, because it's like, I don't love this, so I'm not doing it. But sometimes it's the most important thing to do. Like marketing is critical. It's a critical piece, but most people suck in it. And so since they suck in it, they just kind of sort of do it and be like, oh, well, I did what I needed to do, so I'm good here. But that's one of the things that are the 20% that give you the 80%. And that's where you, as a business owner, in fact, I will tell everybody this, because this was my aha as I went through the journey. We're not our products and our services. We market our products and services. That's what business is about, is when we can effectively market our products and our services, we get to where we're looking to go. Now, what's interesting about that, when you have leads, when you have your VAs, when you have your movers, when you have your dispatch, when you have all of those things, they have to have a reason to do what they're doing. And money is just not as big of a motivator as we really think that it is. Like I get to hear the guys on the truck. I get to hear some of the VAs. I get to hear how people speak about things, and they're passionate about something. And it's our job as leaders to ask them, why are they passionate about that thing, and make that thing show up in their life. They're not coming to a job just to have a job. Most people do, and it's unfortunate. But as a leader, we get an opportunity to serve ourselves and serve others so that they can play the best game that they need to play. I don't know if I went into a complete tangent on that, but that's just what my mind went.
You always be motivated to have people thinking of ideas like, God damn, Cliff.
Exactly.
But no, it's true though. It's one of those things where yo, are you sitting down with your employees individually and having a it's called a succession plan, which is very hard to say, but it's basically a plan for where do they want to be in your company or, you know, in their career path. And if it's with your company, great, you know, because now you could say, well, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to be 6 months from now if you were still here with our company and everything is going great? Well, hey, I would love, if they're a mover, hey, I would love to be a team leader and, you know, drive the trucks and, you know, obviously make more money for my family, blah, 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 blah. Or, you know, long term, I want to be in the office as a dispatcher possibly because I'm really good at administrative work and I feel like I could be a good asset. Okay. Okay. Now we have a invested employee that we need to take advantage of because this person is someone that wants to be loyal to the cause. And we have those employees in our company that's saying, hey, boss, no matter how bad things get, I'm going to be here. Mm-hmm. What are you doing with those employees? Are you just saying, oh yeah, you know, that sounds great. Go out and be a lead today. You know, go out, lead the team. You know, you're an animal, you know. Or are you really, you know, encouraging, you know, hey, you know what? I see you. I hear you and I see you. And I really want to see where we can go further with you. So what is your computer skills like? You know, what type of administrative stuff have you done in your past? Oh, well, you know, I'm very good with computers. One, I fix computers. And, you know, and I'm very good with Microsoft Word, Excel, whatever the case is. Oh, really? Okay. Well, do you need a computer tech guy? If you have your own office, do you need someone to be really fixing your computers? Okay, well, give them a little side task if your computers go down every now and then. You know, incentivize them. Okay, hey, you know, you're a key employee to us. You know, hey, our computers went down. We'll pay you a little extra money if you could repair our computers for us. Okay, now you don't necessarily have a position for them in the company, but you're showing them some initiative that, hey, you heard them, you see where their skill sets are, and you're making them an asset of your company, which now keeps them invested even further in your company because they feel like you're utilizing their skills a little bit.
Yep.
You know, so I think that's how we have to see our employees at times is like, hey, you know what, right now I'm looking at my guys and I'm like, oh man, I don't have anybody that could be a dispatcher, or I don't have anybody that can, you know, be an operations manager. Let me hire from outside. But did you really have a conversation with your guys? Did you really look at their resume after you hired them over a year ago to see what their background was before they became a mover or a driver?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you just listen to them as they talk to you with that open door policy you should have?
Yep.
So yeah, I would say, you know, it's definitely, you know, there's opportunities all around us. We just have to see these opportunities, even in these rough times. You know, obviously this summer wasn't the summer that most people expected to have. It said, you know, I was able to make 6 figures in August, and I looked at my account and I'm like, where?
Oh boy.
So, you know, it's just been, it's one of those years where it's just like, you know, the P&L statement is lying. I don't care what they say, they're lying. So, but, you know, it's just, only thing we can do is, hey, keep pushing, you know, focus on each department as I like to focus on each department and grow your business. Don't put in 80 hours, 90 hours, 100 hours in the off season because, hey, no matter what, like Cliff said, 80% input and 20% output, it's just going to burn you out. And then when the summer come back around, you're going to really be burnt out because now you're like, oh, I implemented all this stuff. Oh, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And you implemented way too much. You implemented 10 new processes in your sales department and didn't let your reps get one down pack.
That happened to us at college, actually. We had this coach. He was so crazy, and I don't like throwing people's names under the bus, so I'm not going to say the name, but he had like 40 different complex plays, and we didn't know how to do one of them. And we just looked like fools out there. It's just like, and I'd never seen, this is a story for business owners, actually, because it's so important. Like, life is business and business is life. This is why, like, don't just survive, but thrive. I get it. We were such a talented team. Like, talent wise, we had everything that we needed. I've never been on a more talented, complete team. But it didn't matter because if you can't run the play, you're not going to look good. And I'm just like, wow, we went 1-9. I'd never been on such a crappy team with so much talent. And that's where I got to see, I'm like, the talent's not enough. It just isn't enough. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It matters how much you want it. If you can run the plays, do you know the systems? Are you in the process? Like, do you have the culture? Everyone was so talented. It was almost like everyone wanted to be the person, the leader. And looking at it, I go, ultimately, when I connect with people, I'm the leader and they're the leader. I'm a leader in something and they're the leader in something. And when I make them feel good about what they're doing, they're going to want to do more of it. And I don't want to be good at everything. Like, why? Now I have to do everything because I'm the one who's good at everything. I want to stick in my strengths and let others stick in their strengths. And I want them to fly together and do that together. And that team, it was partially because of that team. I'd never seen so much talent look so bad.
No, leaders definitely must follow and first before they become a leader, but also you're always learning. Obviously my biggest goal is I don't want to ever be the smartest at the table. And I know that a lot of people hear that at times, and some people they want to be the smartest at the table. And it's your prerogative. But for me, it's kind of like, hey, you know what? If I got that extra feedback, like I had a conversation with a guy that does some of my marketing, and he gave me so much great golden nuggets about my business. And even though he wasn't in my business, he knew of the industry. So, when the nuggets came in, I was like, oh, snap. Like, what the hell? Why did I think about this? And it was just like, you needed a different perspective. And that's the part of, hey, as a leader, can you listen? Can you see the opportunities around you versus hearing your own voice over whatever everybody else is saying? And that's the major problem. A lot of people's flaws is themselves. Oh, well, I've tried this marketing, or I've tried this sales approach, or I've tried this operational approach, and it don't work. I've tried it multiple times. Well, have you tried this? Well, I've tried that too. And it's just like, you sound like you're hearing yourself more than you're hearing things that's worked. Like, we're not, I like to use this, I guess, we're not military organized, when it comes to our business. Some people are that's been in the service, and they run their company as such, which gives them a real tight system. But then that has its flaws too. You too tight in there that basically you miss opportunities. You miss building that company culture where people actually maybe like the company because there is that flexibility.
Yeah.
So, whether you're a flexible company or you're a very tight company, it just really just depends on, it starts from the top. But are you always learning? Are you always taking an insight from like, oh, well, hey, Phil tells me about his business all the time. And I'm like, interesting. Would that work for me? Would some facet of what he's telling me work for my company? Same thing for Cliff, with the marketing and everything else. It's just like, would this work? How can I have this sit down with my employees and empower them to be leaders in their own facet so that they can take on the next level of where I would like them to be in my company? Or, hey, if they decide to start their own moving company, hey, great luck, good luck, maybe you'll be a competition down the street. But hey, you know what? Maybe I'll refer some business to you. Maybe you refer some business to me. Hey, we can still grow. I'm not going to hold you back if you're ready to get to that next level.
Yeah. And even talking like So I have conversations with Phil, and he's got so much knowledge and wisdom in his process. And as do you, Dwyght, as we go through the process, we just get to listen and say what's going to serve us and what's not going to serve us. And I mean, a lot of your guys' stuff, it's marketing stuff, and a lot of marketing stuff, it's moving company stuff. It's concepts. Ultimately, when you get the concept right, you win at life. Like, that's the name of the game. So we got to figure out the concepts. But going through it all, how does this apply to me? I always ask that question. How does this apply to me? Because it allows my mind to be open and allows my mind to just be willing to do new things and see if it works. I keep referring back to Louis Massaro because he's really entrenched in the moving industry, but he's right. The winners are the ones who think differently. Competition isn't even really competition, not by itself. Like, if you're going to compete at the highest level and you're getting ready to compete with someone, you want them to bring their best game and you bring your best game. It actually makes both people look better. The audience likes to see that. They want to choose who they choose, and they want to see both people in the arena, and they want to be entertained by that process. And sometimes we're like, all right, if I can just get him food poisoning before the fight so he looks bad, like that's not what people want to see. Like, this would be like, oh, I'm the champion. Did you see me beat that guy who had the food poisoning, who couldn't lift his hands up? I showed him, didn't I? Like, people will be like, wow, this guy's a real jerk. Like, I don't want to root for this guy anymore. And that's the name of the game. Is competition is a good, healthy thing if you allow it to be. I didn't even know. Did you guys know? So Steve Jobs got help. Apple got help from Microsoft. Like, Apple was on 90 days of bankruptcy when Steve Jobs came back. Yeah. Yeah. And Microsoft ended up helping them through that process. That's something I didn't know. And I was like, why would they do something like that? Well, it kind of makes sense because you look at McDonald's and Burger King. They both help one another because they're competitors. You need a 1 and you need a 2. And you need to be the other choice. Like, the twos sometimes don't want to be the ones. They want to be the other choice. Then you got Avis, who was number 2, and Avis used it as an advantage and say, we're number 2, and that's why we try harder. And so that's the beauty of the game, is like, there's so many options available. We just have to figure out, okay, how am I going to play on this chessboard? What moves am I going to make to be the most effective on the chessboard that I'm playing?
That definitely makes a lot of sense. No, like, yeah, like you said, with the whole thing with the competition thing. No, Cliff, you always set the tone. There's no comeback after when Cook talks.
I know, right? Yeah, I just be quiet.
It's just like, yeah, right. He's so right.
I'll chime in a little bit on that portion of it. Y'all excuse me because I'm kind of having my nose keep running so bad, man. But so on the competition level, there's in Dwyght, I think I've shared this with you, even Clifford, that another moving company over here. I mean, literally 5 miles down the road from us. We share work. Hell, we share guys. I mean, he's let us use a piece of his equipment. We've let him use a piece of our equipment. And it's worked for us. I wish it was a little bit, I wish the growth was on both sides of the plate as we're trying to grow, but it is what it is. But even though your competition at the end of the day, all the pricing and all that stuff's around about the same. But it's worked for us, and we've been doing this for the last 2 years, maybe even 3 years, down to the point of I've went out and helped him on jobs, to help him get a job situated, and or when he was out of town, you know, I had to stop by and check on his guys and make sure that the job was running smoothly. It was a little bit larger of a job than they thought it was, but you know, it's worked out for us. You know, it's kind of one back scratching the other. You know.
No, that's awesome. To even have that level of friendship and being able to oversee the next person's moving company, and you know, like I'm not going to say that's you know, what they call a relationship goal. You know, I'm not going to say that, but you know, it's like, yo, that's super cool. Like to be that close to someone where you're like, okay, you know what, I don't mind showing you my operations, especially if they're either where you are or a little bigger than where you are, and you want to be, you know, ultimately where they are, whatever the case is, however it's reciprocated. I know that you said that one of the guys that you refer business to isn't really spending time growing their business. So, you know, kind of like that could be draining for you because you're reciprocating so much energy to help them stay afloat and grow their business. But they're not, you know, I guess I get what I'm saying. It's like someone that's kind of like glow you, just drain you because basically you're not either on the same level or the person that wants to benefit from it can't benefit from it.
Yeah.
But on the next level, what's your obviously the third quarter is coming to an end at the end of this month. Did y'all have any goals in mind? Like where we at?
Yeah. For
Go ahead. Go ahead, Clifford. Go ahead.
for myself, I want to hypnotize people, and let me give a definition of what hypnotize means. Hypnotize means getting out of your own way so that you can sprint in your life, in your journey. And I absolutely love teaching and coaching. And here was the craziest thing, because I knew something was off when I first started doing it. Like I was like, nah, something's off. Like, why are so many entrepreneurs failing at this? Why are there so many failing at this? And I realized what it was. It's the same thing as personal training. It's people getting up and talking about how great they are and what they can do and their successes. And people listen to them and say, oh, wow, they do so many amazing things. Can I even do half of that? And they don't even know what to do. So they don't know where to start or when to start or how to start. So they stay stuck. And instead, it's like, oh, crap, they're supposed to be doing the training. They're supposed to be getting in the reps when they're in the room to get in the reps. And so when I speak, I'm going to speak with participation. You know, they're going to participate through it, and I'm going to be the speaker. I'm not going to speak at them. I'm going to speak with them. They're going to be on the stage with me, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and they're going to learn while they're there. And that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the stage with people, and they're going to learn while they're there. And if they want to step in closer and do more reps, because you don't, there's a book called You Don't Learn How to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. And so it's saying you need more than 1 or 2 days. You know, you're going to get good stuff as you go through it, but there's a lot of mental training to be done to get to where you want to be. And I just want to support people with the 2 years of mental training to get to where they want, instead of the 20 years of just attempting and not quite getting there and wondering, why am I not good enough and why doesn't it work? It's not true. You're always good enough. You're always good enough. You just need the right leaders around you so you can be the leader you were meant to be. And I'm going to speak at least once a month. I'm probably going to go to chambers of commerces and places of that nature and connect with entrepreneurs and get them to raise their hand to their greatness and remember who they are and remember the dreams that they want.
Yeah, it makes sense. No, I was thinking, I was just listening to a networking book, and the networking book, hold on, I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second, everyone.
Clifford, I like your moon shot there, buddy. Your
Thank you, brother.
earth shot. It's pretty
I
cool.
go out of this world.
I apologize. Yeah, I can't stop sneezing, man. And I'm like, man, you know how it is, man. You got kids, man. You know how it is, man. School time start, boy. And
I feel you, brother.
them little bugs roll in.
It is.
And I get sick, boy, I get man sick, boy.
I say respect. You made it here. You're doing your thing. Because life is. I don't know if I was telling you guys about this. So I've been married for 16 years now, but I came up with it on our 15th year, and I'm like, holy crap! I get the game. She goes, what are you talking about? I go, it just keeps getting harder, but you get smarter at playing it. That's what happens.
It happens, boy.
Yeah, my fault about that, guys. But all right. So Phil, what's your end of the year plan?
Our plan is, we're trying to get our facility filled up for storage. That's kind of our primary goal right now. That everyone is feeling the housing market crumbling. Moving is not what it was, for a lot of us guys that hadn't been in the industry for years and years, like the 2008 crash and stuff like that. So we don't know, we just know about what's been good, and we've never really, I haven't ever experienced anything in this industry as what's happening now, because, I think we've been in business 7 years now, and it's been pretty darn good. I mean, the first year was okay. The second year was great, but this year has been a little rocky, and the numbers are down. And so, we're thinking of some other things to implement where, like I was saying before, we've even lowered our hourly rates to, just try to turn all the trucks that we got, but you can only go to so low, to where, man, I just paid for that move, when you break it down, when you break down the tax and fuel and everything, the good thing about us, man, is with our company is everything we have is paid for. So I don't have any truck payments and stuff like that, or leases or anything. Everything's paid for. So I don't really have that crunch, but I do have a big crunch of this huge building that's in front of me, which has been stressful, to be honest with you. A lot of things that I really didn't think about going into this place was, damn, this light bill $1,500. Why they charging $300 and some to pick up the trash? I'm gonna take this shit on the back of my pickup truck.
Who got the damn lights on?
Man, it's just real, man. But you got to hang on, man, and you got to know your market, and you got to know. So last week, what I did last week is I identified because we all have a main competitor in each place we're marketing, and that's just it. If you Google, just say if you're just doing just regular old Google, and people are, you're getting a lot of, Google clicks. You Google movers near me while you're sitting at your office. It's going to tell you who's right beside you. It's going to tell you everybody who that customer could have called, right? When they say Google, now you don't know if they've been over here, but, you got to know your competitor, We're getting on some other new platforms now. And, my job last week was to figure out, what they're charging. At the end of the day, man, the numbers is just the numbers. A customer doesn't realize when they say, oh, well, their hourly rate is $5 less than yours an hour, but they're charging $55 for a mattress bag. You know what I mean? And you're charging, 15, or, TV box for $50 when you're charging, $25. That money's being made up, people just don't see it, And when I was in the car business, it was all a numbers game. Like any business is a numbers game. you know, at the end of the day, I can sit here and they say, hey, don't talk about the bottom dollar. Talk about monthly price, right? What your monthly fee can be. Okay, we've got your credit report. This is where, you know, the credit union is saying your credit stands, yada, yada, yada. This is your interest rate, right? Don't talk about anything about that bottom dollar. Let's talk about monthly payment, right?
Yeah, I learned about that as well. It was one of those things. The second time I went to get my finance vehicle, and the guy was like, yeah, we can get your payments around $150, $160 a month. Okay, yeah, that's great. But then how expensive is this damn car? I was yeah. You know, and that's the first time he got me. I was like, oh, $150 a month? Oh, yeah, you're gonna have a 60 month term. Oh, okay, now that sounds horrible. But that don't sound bad for 150 a month at least. And then come to find out, well, the vehicle's gonna be 10,300.
That's how they get you.
150 sound it's gonna go a long goddamn way.
Man, and some credit unions, man, just depending on your person, man, they'll extend that loan out, man, depending on the car and your credit. I mean, 90 months. 90 months on an auto loan, like damn. And you know, but that's what we was taught in the car business. You know, don't talk about the bottom dollar because the bottom dollar don't matter. You know, you come in as somebody's talking about, yeah, I need to be at $300 a month. You know, on a car payment on a $90,000 car. Like, okay, well, I'm assuming you got like 50% down. And no, I ain't got but 1,000. Like, stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your time. I never forget, man. I always use this as an example, man, when I was in the car business, man. I had a couple to come in. I'm not gonna tangle y'all up too much, but I had a couple to come in, man, and it was around tax time. And it was my first or second car deal. Well, that wasn't even a deal at all. That wasn't shit. But I thought I had a deal, boy. I ran around. So the guy came in, he was looking at this was back in 2000. This was right before the 08 crash, like 2007, I think, somewhere around in there. And the guy's like, yeah, I want this Yukon Denali, like the top of the package. It was like 60 grand. The guy's like, we got $1,000 down, but we got to get them payments around about $250 a month. Man, I ain't pulled no credit or nothing, dude. I ain't asked the guy where he worked at or nothing. Man, I come flying out of that office. I got papers flying every day. Man, I go in there to my finance manager. I said, hey, man, I got a deal, man. I said, this guy that landed. And then they had a spiff on these Yukons where it was an additional like $500 on top of on your commission. So I'm like, man, I done sold this Yukon, the Nally, Man, manager looked at me and said, have you pulled them people credit yet? No, man. I said, he got $1,000. I said, he got $1,000, man. He trying to keep them payments about $250, $300 a month. My man said, man, get them damn people out of your office, man. So I went in there and talked to the guy. I said, hey, man, I said, my manager want to know. It was a brother too. So they were talking brother to brother. I said, you know how they is though, right? I said, you know, he asking me, where you work at? You know what I mean? You know, we have a brother talk there. I done closed the door and everything. We have a brother talk. Hey, where you work at, man? He said, oh shit, man. I was working at it was a factory or something. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, where your old lady work at, man? He's like, shit, man, she get child support. I'm like, oh shit, man. I said, damn, man. I said, I heard that. I said, but y'all credit, I'm sure y'all credit pretty decent though, right? He said, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That repo may be on that credit report already, man. I think I repo back in November. I said, God almighty. I said, hey, man. So I went back into the box with my manager. I said, hey, man, they ain't got no job, man. They ain't got no job, and they ain't got no credit. But I'm gonna tell you, man, I said, is there anything I can get them sold on? And I was at a Buick GMC store. So I mean, it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like a rock lot. They call them rock lots. You know, you got bad credit. Now it wasn't, you know, you had to have some decent credit walking in there. I'm like, hey man, it ain't nothing. We can get them riding in. He like, well, anything we got is going to have too many miles for the bank to finance for what their credit is. So no. And I'm like, man, I don't wasted like 2.5 hours, man.
That's crazy.
Look, I done bought the dude a drink and everything. I want my drink back and everything. Let me get my drink back, man. I don't waste my damn time. And then I'm sitting out there smoking a cigarette, man. And guess what? They come out, freaking jump in the taxi and leave. I said, man.
Well, I was gonna say, for those that are looking to get a little bit more moves, definitely reach out to an up and coming company that's probably been around for maybe a couple of years, maybe I'm not sure, but a Buttermove. You know, it's allowing customers to be able to finance their or make payments for their moves versus paying it all up front. But it doesn't affect you. It affects, you know, essentially affects them. But you ultimately get all of your money. I know that they're hot in certain markets. I think they're still working on something with within New York, because New York is just one of those regulated states that, you know, you got to go through a lot of loopholes. But I think for like Florida, Arizona, states like that, or so like that, that they're really very beneficial in. And it's a matter of, hey, the customer puts down, say like $250 or whatever the case is for their move, for a down payment, not a deposit. It's just worded differently. And then basically at the end of the move, they pay 25% of whatever that move was. The rest of those other payments, 2 or 3 payments that they have left, will be basically essentially you could say finance, but it'll go through the financer, not you. So you will receive the other 75% from the company, but it's a way where the customer is like, well, damn, this move is how much? $2,500? I can't afford that right now. Well, don't worry. Put $250 down. Pay 25% at the end of your move, and pay the rest of your payments over a few different months. Okay, that sounds more reasonable. I think I could definitely do that. And now, hey, everybody's not offering that type of option. So now it opens you up to getting a lot more jobs that you wouldn't have had because customers just couldn't afford your services.
Yep.
So I would definitely recommend looking into it. Oscar asks, do you guys offer in-house financing for moves? So we do not offer in-house financing. Again, we were dealing with Buttermove and allowing their company to handle all of that, because we don't want to deal with having to have an AR person on board. Like, hey, it's 3 months down from your move. You moved 3 months ago. You got this money. You know, we don't want to be, we don't want to be a rent-a-center. You know, and hey, what happened to Rent-A-Center? Eventually, I think Rent-A-Center is all going out of business because, oh, well, hey, if you don't pay your bill, we're going to come to your house and get your bed back. Okay. You have fun with that. Or I'm going to come to your house and get your PlayStation. Oh, yeah, you definitely have fun with that. John ain't home. John moved out like 2 weeks ago. You know, so... You know, and I don't know. I guess they never adapted to that business model, because there ain't no way in hell you coming back to somebody's house to grab their shit. You got guys driving around wasting fuel and stuff, talking about, yo, Don home, can I get that bed?
That's probably how they're laughing too.
So it's just like, come on, like, so it's like, we'd rather not deal with that whole headache. But there are, if you guys check out my resource page, I've been adding some good companies on there that can help your moving company out, where, hey, customers didn't want to pay you at the end of the move. I'm essentially trying not to argue with customers anymore at the end of the move. Like, I'll try to plead my case and say, well, hey, you owe us. You know, I'll try to say, hey, this is the bill, this is this. I'm not going to just let it go, but I'm not trying to really go into a heated battle with the customer saying, hey, you know, you owe us money. So either we can go the direction of going to court, which is very costly and time consuming, and you still got to pay your guys. Or now there's collection agencies that work with moving companies, which I have one on my resource page on maxmovementtraining.com, where they can go out and collect the unopened bill. Now, if it's below, I think if it's below 1,000, don't quote me, I would say just reach out to them. But if it's below 1,000, I think they like to take 50% of the collection. So if the person owes you $900, they might take like $450 in their efforts to get the money back. But if it's over 1,000, then they may take like 30% or something like that towards, whatever they had to collect and give you the rest. But again, they'll do all the legwork if you don't want to deal with arguing for the money that somebody owes you, or you don't want to deal with waiting 3 months for a court case to receive $600. So, there's definitely a lot of resources out there. It's just basically you got to be willing to lift them up and determine what level of headache you're willing to deal with. We don't deal with claims in-house no more. I refuse to lose sleep every night because, oh shit, my guy's damaged this. Oh, well, is the customer going to accept $90 for something that they say that they think is worth $500? Well, based off the valuation, this is what they're entitled to. So now you're losing sleep thinking, will they accept this? Will they accept this? In most cases, some customers will. They'll just say, you know what, I'll take the $90, whatever. But you done lost so many hours of sleep thinking, will they accept it? So, so it's like, what headache do you want to deal with? Do you want to just put these claims through a claims company where they're not going to charge you much per month to deal with that headache that you don't want to deal with? Or you're just going to put up with it because, hey, you think, hey, your reviews is life. You got to solve this to the best of your ability and, and be a five-star headache. I guess that comes to what it comes down to.
Exactly what it comes down to.
So
it costs a lot of headache to keep 5 stars, boy. And a lot of money too, boy. Even when you be knowing people be wrong, man. It sucks, dude. The people have that much power, man, over your business. But I guess
like that's why, like I said, we use this room as a safe haven to speak our mind versus me posting this to YouTube, because obviously only us as movers really understand what's really going on. But we had a customer where he was improperly billed at the end of the job by a dispatcher or whatever the case is, and I knew what was going on, but obviously I couldn't be around because, hey, I had a personal matter, a death in the family. And I was like, oh, just at that point in time or that 5 minutes, I was just unavailable. So first thing the next morning, I'm like, oh, snap, yo, this is wrong. Let me call him. Let me get on the horn. And the customer knew it was wrong because we spoke that morning and I told him, hey, your bill is going to be about this much. And he paid a fraction of that. So, it was kind of like, sir, you knew you was wrong, and at that point, the customer was like, I don't want to pay no more. The hell? You knew you owe money. We talked about this and I called you back right away. So it wasn't like it was dragged out 2 days and you just didn't want to pay anymore. So it's just like the stuff that we have to go through. But if you have the right people in place, like some of these claims companies, they'll be your mouthpiece. They'll be like, hey, sir, this is what you owe, or ma'am, this is what you owe, and you don't have to deal with it. Only thing you have to do is just sit back, collect a check, and kind of go from there. But it just depends on your level of stuff that you don't want to do. Like Cliff mentioned earlier, there's things that we don't want to do. But that 20% of stuff that we don't want to do, which makes up to 80% of our performance, is stuff that we either have to do or we have to hire somebody else to do. But we should know at least 25% of that skill that we're delegating so that no one pulls a fast one over our head. Oh, I don't know bookkeeping. I'm going to hire a bookkeeper. Well, do you know if they fucked your books up? Yeah, I'm just you got to know because, just like these athletes, oh, I'm going to hire a money manager. And then 20 years later, oh, damn, we didn't pay taxes for 10 years.
I got to take off. I got another call.
All right,
But
guys, we
appreciate
are at
you.
that. We
And
are at the
audience,
top
I
of the
appreciate
hour.
you.
All right, Cliff.
All right,
care,
Cliff.
Definitely, go out and crush it. If you got any questions, definitely reach out to me or Phil or even Cliff. Again, I'm offering 7-day free trial on the moving training program. So visit maxmovingtraining.com, hop on there and try it out. Let me know your thoughts. My team is already, they're ready by email. So just reach out to us and we can help you out. All right, everybody. Y'all enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Take care.
All righty.